The road to All In continues, and tonight Bryan Danielson literally went all in when he risked his career against Swerve Strickland. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. It's time for your AEW Dynamite review for the 31st of July 2024. We are 4 more Dynamites away, 3 Dynamites after tonight from All In, and we could be seeing the last month of Bryan Danielson's career ahead of us.
It could be. It's been a long time since I've had a career on the line. You know what? I welcome this. It's a change. It's something new. Will he retire here? I think there's really a real possibility that he could. And it's not one of these cop-out ones. It's not like Ziggler against The Miz 8 years ago. I actually think he could, and I actually think he will.
Here, how much better would Ziggler's career be looked upon though if he did retire?
Yeah, I know. He'd been as well doing it.
Because people said that feud was fantastic, and then he's coming not long after that feud with the Authority where people were putting him over. And Sting came out and helped him.
Yeah, but retiring at the age of, like, what, 34?
Yeah, well, what's Ziggler done after that?
Yeah, but back then, it didn't make sense now, looking back, absolutely.
He'd been better off retired. Anyway, we're going to get into tonight's show. Do I want Bryan Danielson, though, just before we start? Do I want him to retire? I think the guy deserves to be world champion, but I don't know. Another 8 months or whatever wrestling in AEW, God knows how much more his neck will get fucked up.
He could win the title and just retire.
I mean, he could.
Be a bit cheap, though, considering he said, here, I'm not retiring if I win.
Yeah, he did say, though, that last week that he wants to go and wrestle in the G1 tournament and win that. The G1 tournament.
What a fucking loser.
I mean, Bryan, I'm trying to like you, Bryan Danielson here, but you need to stop this indie shit.
Give me a reason to like you, Daniel.
Go back to WWE, have a couple of WrestleMania matches, and that's you done.
That's you done.
I mean, why can't Daniel have a Roman Reigns style? Turn up once a year.
Down,
You know?
down,
Whatever.
down,
Anyway,
down.
let's get into this show. So, match 1, it is Lance Archer versus Will Ospreay. MJF kicks off the show. He bashes America. Will Ospreay comes out, cuts a promo. Wasn't great. It didn't really make much sense. MJF, again, did the usual British teeth stuff, you know, that rhetoric, just pretty old, pretty boring.
Yeah, it's like Family Guy. Oh, look. Oh, they've all got teeth hanging at their fucking nose.
Right, then MJF said it's murder time. And I was expecting Chris Benoit to come out, but in fact we got Lance Archer, who's a bit of a downgrade. You know, my problem with Lance Archer is we're expected to be treating this guy like it's Prime Kane, right? Or someone that is a monster. Every time he steps up in competition, he loses. Every fucking time.
Yep.
What is the best win of Lance Archer's career? Because anytime he takes on anybody of note, anytime he steps up towards main event level or even upper main event level, he loses. I don't care who or what jobber he's beaten on Rampage and Collision. Whenever we see him on Dynamite against an actual threat, he loses. So for me, he's just a big jobber. I don't see Lance Archer as this, oh, he's the monster of AEW. Nah, he's just a guy who's slightly bigger than, well, a lot bigger than the rest and loses.
Yeah, people like this need to be protected. You can't just build a reputation up off of nothing. You need a reputation to actually build. And if he can't win a match, then there's no reputation there.
And of course, he doesn't win this match. He was never going to win this match. Ospreay wins. MJF then hits the ring, attacks Ospreay, hits a brainbuster. And then we get Kyle Fletcher coming to the ring, and he helps Ospreay. We have the man with the scar, Don Callis. A scar, I mean, I thought it would have been kind of like faded away by now, but it's still, that's with him for life.
No, it will be.
But it's a good look.
It's a good look. It
definitely
Harry Potter.
I mean, they should capitalise more on Don Callis, I think. We should see him, he should be in a more prominent role. Anyway.
My brother's lying over there in a heap of piss,
bruv. So Will Ospreay is lying in the corner. Kyle Fletcher defends him. He says, look, Don Callis, he might no be longer part of the Don Callis family, but he's my family, he's my brother. And I'm not going to let MJF, destroy him or whatnot. Kyle Fletcher brings up the fact that MJF was running down foreigners. And he says he might be a foreigner, but ever since he was 8 years old, he knew he wanted to come here and win championships in America because this is where the best wrestle. So Kyle Fletcher knew when he was 8 years old that AEW was going to be where the best wrestle. Congratulations, we have a time traveler here in AEW.
We have a time traveller here. He sucks, man. His wee tattoo just coming out here talking a load of shite. And MJF, I think he's just coming across a very cheap Ric Flair. Like, you want me? He's ripping off the clothes like Ric Flair against Jay Lethal. I'm not saying Ric Flair's the only guy that's ever ripped off clothes, but you can clearly see that MJF gets a lot of mannerisms for Ric Flair.
Definitely. Fletcher says MJF doesn't care about his country, but Fletcher's been given his country, his girl, his car, and his wife by this country. Well, I mean, no shit. What do you mean he's been given this country? He's been given his country by this country. What? Then Fletcher says he wants MJF right here, right now. MJF teases the idea, but then he's like, nah, not tonight. I'll face you, just not tonight. So
not tonight, brother.
Who knows? Maybe next week. And he says that when he does, the blood will be on Will Ospreay's hands. Right. Match 2, CMLL World Championship Eliminator. Statlander versus Willow Nightingale. If Statlander wins, she gets a title shot. This is fucking retarded. When do you get feuds and you have an eliminator match in the middle of a feud? It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you have Statlander have to beat Nightingale to get a title shot when they're already in a feud?
I feel like this match happens every week.
Statlander should be beating somebody else to get this title shot.
I'm sick of Statlander. I'm sick of Nightingale.
Plus, why is Willow Nightingale bringing in another jobber belt into this promotion? It was only 2 months ago, less than that actually, she lost the TBS title. But now she's brought in this championship. So now we've got at least 3 women's titles on AEW programming. You factor in the women winning who's got the Ring of Honor women's title? I don't know. Athena? Somebody? Anyway. Why do we have all these women's belts? There's fucking way too many.
There's way too many for a roster of about 6 women.
Yeah, so Statlander wins and she's going to get the title shot now. But how many times have we seen this match? How many times have we seen these two go at it?
Yeah, a million times. It feels like it happens every week.
The match at the pay-per-view for the belt should be the first match. Not like the 7th match down the line.
No, I agree.
What are we doing here?
But anyway, Statlander wins. Brilliant. Daniel Bryan up next.
Yeah, she attacked Thingy with a chair, by the way, so security
but
tried
they're safe chairs. QT
Yep.
Marshall said they're safe.
Security tried to stop her, so she beat them up as well. Right, commercial break time, then Danielson comes out. Danielson says it's great in Greensville. And he does the whole rock thing where you look at his arm and you see the goosebumps. So Daniel Bryan here, maybe he was stuck in a freezer or something an hour before he came out, because I wasn't really getting goosebumps in this empty arena. But the fans are chanting Brie, and Excalibur says he wonders if they love cheese. I didn't get that. So is there a type of cheese called Brie or something?
Fuck me, how slow are you? Of course there is.
Well, I've never had it.
I've never had it, but I'm well aware.
I'm not a big cheese fan.
It's a pish fucking joke, but I can't believe we've no got it.
I didn't get it. I'm assuming that's what it is, but...
No, I know for a fact.
Well, what's the cheese called?
Brie.
Just that it?
That's what it's called, Brie.
So like you get cheddar cheese and you get Brie cheese?
Aye.
And what would you have Brie cheese with?
I don't like cheese. You have Dairy Lee, mate. You tell me.
Hold on, I have Dairy Lee spread on my toast. It's not the same as Brie cheese, is it?
Well, we have it on your pizza as well.
What, Dairy Lee's?
No, cheese.
Fucking
cheese?
I asked mozzarella.
I'm a spastic. You didn't know it fucking existed.
Aye, I don't. I'm openly admitting that.
You're a tool.
Hold on, how many types of cheeses am I required to know?
It's a pretty common cheese.
Well, I've never heard it.
Alright then, let's move on.
How common is it in the list of cheeses? How high?
I'd say it's in the top 3.
Oh, what's the other top 2 then? Cheddar and mozzarella?
Aye, I'd say so.
Well, name me a 4th.
Swiss.
Oh, come on, Swiss is more popular than Brie.
I wouldn't go that far.
Right, what's the 5th? Keep naming me cheeses here.
I don't know.
Derail in this video here, you know? One cheese, man. So hold on. I'm shite for only knowing 3 cheeses, but you're the man for knowing 4.
No, there's a difference, right? I know more, I just can't name more. You didn't actually recognise that fucking name.
I'm openly admitting that I didn't. But I'm assuming it was a cheese, because the shite joke.
There you go, Brie cheese. Brie is a soft cow milk named after Brie, the French region from where it originated.
Oh, well, there you go. If you came here to get an education on cheese, then I guess you've got it. But let's move on. Bryan Danielson says that he's lucky he was able to, have a career here in AEW. He gets the whole thank you thing. He says he promised his daughter when she was 7 that he would stop wrestling, and that his contract ends tomorrow. Yep, there's 1,800 different types of cheeses apparently, but
There's almost more types of cheese than people tune into this show.
But I'm a bad guy for not knowing one particular type, you know what I mean?
No, it's a common one. Come on, don't be fucking hitting me with that pish. Look, it's even the first one that appears.
Aye, that's alphabetical order, too.
No, it's no.
Well, I'm claiming it is. Anyway, right, so what happened next? Yeah, so Danielson says that his contract runs out tomorrow and that, he could obviously be retiring, and he's promised that he's going to give it everything he has, and he's going to try his best to win the title. The title's the only thing that he hasn't done, but at Wembley Stadium, he's got one last shot. He's going to go to all in, and he's going to give his body, his mind, his soul. He's going to go all in with it all. So that's what Bryan Danielson says. Swerve came out, tried to put himself over. He said that he's so far ahead of the time, people in 10 years are going to rewind to see him. I mean, I get what he was going for, but it was fucking retarded, because in 10 years' time, people will be rewinding the tapes anyway to look at the previous eras, because that's how you learn. You can't fast forward and look at, someone from a future generation, because it's not happened yet. And I get that's the kind of joke that Swerve was going for, but again, for me, it just didn't really pay off.
No, it didn't pay off. I thought he just stumbled through this promo. I thought there was some alright stuff, but I think it's time for this reign to come to an end. This reign should not advance at the expense of this guy's career.
Yeah, it's been a shite reign, to be fair. And then Bryan Danielson, he says you can't handle the pressure of being champion. Swerve says he's done everything that Danielson hasn't. He's won a title. He has beat the Elite. Danielson hasn't done that. Swerve then promises Danielson he's the most dangerous man in AEW, and he's going to walk out all in as champion, and Danielson won't be walking out at all. But Danielson says he's made one more promise. If he doesn't win the AEW Championship, he will never wrestle again. And then Swerve says, instead of making promises to me, why don't you keep the promise you made to your family? And Swerve walks off. We see Danielson go to the back. Jeff Jarrett's like, that's the kind of attitude I'm looking for, all in. Danielson then pushes him and says, you want to see all in, me and you next week. So we're getting Bryan Danielson versus Jeff Jarrett on TV. Main event world match, but it'll probably just be a 5-minute fucking opener or 5-minute middle of the card match, but whatever. I thought it was a decent promo from Bryan Danielson.
It was, but I think Jeff Jarrett against Bryan
almost... It's a bigger match.
No, it is a bigger match, but it almost kind of screams like farewell sort of match, like farewell tour sort of match. Would you agree?
Aye, because we're getting Danielson on free TV.
Aye.
Right, match 3, trios match. Rush versus the Beast Mortos and Roderick Strong versus the Conglomeration. Roderick Strong, Rush and Mortos won. Wasn't expecting it, but here it happened, so it is what it is. Thoughts on the match? I don't really care. I'm not going to pretend that I was sitting watching it, paying attention. These kind of matches get me tuned out very quickly. I mean, I did actually say, I believe, was it 4 months ago? Anyway, at the start of the year, whatever, I says I was no longer ever going to watch another trios match in AEW, because it's all the same shit, man. I am actually sick to the death of this. It's just, let's try and get as many guys on the show as we can. We all hit our little spots. You've got the awkwardness of breaking up counts. No one can really work, and everything just looks so fucking dumb and choreographed that these guys struggle. Just like the women, they struggle. See, the more of them are in the ring, the more they struggle. See, when it's just one-on-one and they've maybe mapped out the entire match, then they can make it look a little bit better. But see, when you've got multi-men in, it's like their heads get fried. They don't know what they're doing. It comes across as shite to me.
No, it does. I think it only really worked in the past when you actually had people who were good. If you actually notice, like, it was very rare that they gave jobbers these sort of matches. If you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue the hardcore division had a lot of people, but there was so much happening, that was a fucking mess.
I feel like
it kind of suited it,
With hardcore, it's more like you do one spot, you're done. You do one spot, you're done. In this, it's not like that. You look at the 5-on-5 matches, in the invasion angle, they were all done to perfection for me. And it's like, could these guys fucking hold a candle? No, they couldn't. They're shite. Anyway, surprising team wrong. You said they had no chance of winning and they won.
I didn't think they'd win, but there
Strong
you go.
Win.
Strong win! The Acclaim say the FTR aren't serious wrestlers because they didn't show up to face the Acclaimed in their hometown. Whatever.
Brilliant.
Fuck me. They're not serious wrestlers. Now, the problem is that FTR are too serious, I think. Mariah May then did a sit-down interview with Renee Paquette, and she says that she doesn't need to explain anything. You've seen over the past few months. You know why she attacked Storm. Well, I'm pretty sure the reason for this interview was to explain, but she didn't really explain, so I mean, I don't really know. Then Storm came out and says, it's going to be a love affair or whatever at All In. Thought it was a little bit cringy. Thought it was one of Tony Storm's worst promos, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, this was good, but I did say in the preview, what are they going to do now that Mariah May can't copy Tony Storm, whether it be old Tony Storm or the new timeless Tony? She's going to have to break into a new character. We're going to see a new version of Tony Storm. And I don't know if it's going to work, and for me, this just didn't really work.
It didn't work, and you're right. I think once the match happens after it, it's going to fall flat on its arse. It's hard to follow. See, I think the key thing to a wrestling company is seeing you get something good. It's how do you build on it? And I feel like for however long as we have watched wrestling for the past 15 years, they fail to build on these things. It's like WrestleMania. How often than not does WrestleMania give you something good, but then the night after it, people disappear for months or they just don't follow up on it? That's what happens. It's like the Wyatt Six, exact same fucking thing. The Rock and Roman Reigns, exact same thing. Albeit different kettle of fish compared to these two, but these two have been consistently the best thing on AEW.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see. Everyone's allowed a bad night, just wasn't that good. But yeah, who knows, maybe they'll perform next week. Match 4, Camille versus Brittany Jane. We were told that Camille's massive. I mean, she's not really. She's bigger than the average woman, but this is not like a gigantic, fucking monster. Her offense looked pretty shit, by the way, as well. She went for like a running leg drop. Kind of like the Zack Ryder's Rough Rider, but it just looked rough. Very rough.
I know Ryder about it. Rough like a dog.
Then she had the sit-out Dominator, and she won the match. So there you go. Mercedes Moné cut a crappy promo as well. So nothing new there, really. I don't know what you do with Mercedes Moné.
Oh, the newest addition to Money Incorporation. Well, no, what is that? What is it? It's just a fucking word. Where do you sit backstage? Where's your business? Where's your meetings? What is it? It's just a load of shite.
The problem with Mercedes Moné has got her character just doesn't suit her not doing the talking. Now, you could argue get a manager, get a mouthpiece for Mercedes Moné, but she's the boss. So therefore, she should be the leader. So therefore, she's the person that we need to hear from the most. If she was some big monster like fucking Awesome Kong, then yeah, you could definitely get a manager in there. But I just don't think I don't think Mercedes Moné character suits her having a mouthpiece and her taking a back seat and simply just wrestling.
No, it doesn't, you're right.
Her being the CEO, her being the boss, puts her in that kind of, that line. She should be the one that... So therefore, I think she's fucked because she sucks on the mic, but her character is someone that should be on the mic pretty much all the time, should be the one doing all the talking. Does it make sense maybe for her to have someone like Camille as back? Absolutely, but Camille's not going to do all the talking for her.
No.
If anything, this is just going to limit Mercedes Moné's ring time, and she's now going to have to do more talking, which makes sense for the character, but doesn't make sense for the ability of her mic work, which quite frankly is fucking awful. So there you go, there's a wee rundown on Mercedes Moné. Not necessarily bashing her, but I just don't see this partnership working.
No, you're right. You're right. The boss character needs to talk. McMahon needed to talk. Triple H is an evolution. People complain about 20-minute promos. He needs to talk. He's the game. He's the leader. The leader of incorporations or factions in wrestling need to talk. They really... It's like Solo Sikoa didn't need to talk when he was like the enforcer. But see now he's at the front of it. He needs to talk.
He needs to talk.
But we need to talk about the main event. I think it was the main event. Darby Allin. Adam Page, baby.
Could Mercedes Moné bring... If they're going to do this, what do you call it? Money corporations?
Aye.
Could we see...
Dun, 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 dun.
Could we see a mouthpiece come in? Could we see someone come in that's going to do the talking? Like possibly a Don Callis or something like that. I think that would be good. We could have had Mercedes join the Don Callis family, but of course she's not going to be underneath the Don Callis family because she will view that as being like some sort of demotion. Oh, I can't have Don Callis' family. I can't have that name be above Mercedes Moné or whatever. But it just doesn't really work because, like I said, her character suits being the number one person, the talker, the boss, but she can't really talk, so therefore she's kind of fucked. It doesn't really make sense. And then we get Darby Allin versus Hangman Page in the main event. Darby cradles Page for the win. Surprise victory there. He gets the victory. Adam Page is no happy. I'm not really happy. Wasn't a good main event. Wrestle Headlines, I've given this an 8 out of 10. For me, it was a bad show, man. I'm not giving it an 8 out of 10. I'll give it a... I'll give it a... I don't know. What am I giving it out of 10? Honestly, I'll give it a 2. I think a 2 is probably fair. It was a really bad show in my opinion, so... I just look at the matches. Didn't care for the main event. Didn't care for the opener. Didn't want to see Statlander versus Will Nightingale again. Trios match absolutely sucked. The Mercedes Moné promo wasn't great. The Mariah May stuff, Tony Storm, was disappointing, in my opinion. The only thing I really liked was the Bryan Danielson promo. So, we'll see. We'll see. But for me, guys, 2 out of 10. I'll catch you in the next one. Wasn't great, but hopefully we can get some good shows in the future. Till next time, peace.